Few senior leaders have faced a challenge in their career as consequential and as large as the C-19 pandemic and resulting global impact. Leaders who rely often on pattern recognition and past experience are finding that today's issues have no historical comparison. This period is truly a test of their leadership ability, and no one has any idea how long it will last and how it will end. To better understand what it will take for leaders to be successful in the post-C-19 landscape, we at Russell Reynolds have reached out to some of the world's most notable CEOs, chairs, and board directors. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by Vittorio Colao. Vittorio has led some of the world's largest companies, most notably as CEO of Vodafone, is on the board of two of the world's largest, Unilever and Verizon, and is also investing in some of the world's leading technology businesses on behalf of General Atlantic partners. And interestingly enough, he has also been leading the group on behalf of the Italian government on helping Italy plan its pathway out of the C-19 lockdown. Specifically today, we've asked Vittorio to discuss the theme which has been developed throughout the conversations we've been having with CEOs and chairs in Europe about the role that big business plays with government, society, and purpose. Vittorio, fantastic to have you with us today. As you know, we have been interviewing now over 80 CEOs and chairmen and board members in Europe on the impacts of C-19, and most importantly about kind of where business moves as a result of the impact of the virus. European governments have stepped up and played a significant role in stabilizing economies and corporations throughout the crisis. What will this mean for big business going forward? And what are society's expectations of them?
I think that after such a massive reaction that governments have displayed to the COVID crisis, and the reaction has been money, but not just money, also very quick decisions, also very, very hard work. I mean, I've been personally exposed to it, and I can tell you these have been 6 months of 15 hours per day, 7 days per week for most governments and civil servants. I think that after all of this, the general feeling of the population will be that the importance of having robust and caring governments is gone up, and the expectation that this will be respected has gone up. And I think that with different degrees and probably not yet fully there, also there is a perception that the world of business is more fragile than what we thought. I mean, some companies are doing very well, but many companies needed money, many companies needed help. And so if you look ahead, people will see that companies will have to lay off some people. There will be more unemployment. That smart working with all the positives also creates a lot of negative effects in the society. And that financial aid in the end turns into debt and has to turn into taxation. So my sense is that the society at large will expect large businesses to be really making contributions, but I'm saying real contribution, not the cheap talk about purposeful business and the purpose of my business is to good to humanity and I will change the world for the better. No, real contribution, tangible contribution. I think they will look for genuine engagements of large businesses in solving the problems, whether the problem is unemployment or environment or digitalization. I think people will say, okay, fine, the world has been fragile. Now, what are you doing, big business, to help me and my life become more digital in a smooth way, or the environment to become safer in a better way, or, unemployment to be mitigated and so on. They will expect more transparency on taxes. I have been always a great proponent of total transparency of how much taxes you pay and why and how. Many businesses, especially large ones, have resisted this under the excuse that, it's complicated, it's difficult. I mean, this will not hold anymore. We have to go there. And finally, I would say with caution, big businesses will need to accept that the world of politics should not prevail over business, but has primacy over business. And the role of business is to shape the politics or to help shaping the policies, but is not to try to dominate them. For many years, we have been this, government should stay out of my stuff. I don't think people will accept anymore anybody saying, government should stay out. They said, no, government should stay in because we saw what happened when we needed a robust government.
Based on your experience of running and advising some of the world's largest companies, what advice would you give to CEOs on the role they play and their company should play with government and in society?
I always share three, I would say, practical advices, but then I have one which is, I think, probably more meaningful and less practical, but more, I think, of substance. The first one is obviously engage. Now, engagement is not Zoom engagement, is not attending a couple of calls to help resolve the problem. It's real engagement, constant, permanent engagement, which is something that comes more natural to people like me who are in regulated businesses and businesses which are international and therefore political in essence. But true engagement, whether it's on the political, on the social front, it should be a continuing thing. It should not be just a one-off. The second is to help, to really understand that help to the society and to politicians is not to help removing problems or removing constraints. It's real help in navigating them. The thing which was very obvious to me in helping the Italian government was that our value was really not to kind of have brilliant ideas, which by the way everybody has and they're all the same, or in saying, oh, you should eliminate these constraints, because social life and political life has constraints: political, social, electoral, consensus, party. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that makes it very difficult to make things. Helping politicians navigate them is very important. And, a CEO usually can contribute with a good methodological approach. Our committee sorted in 2 weeks the topic of the unlocking of Italy, of the COVID of Italy. And honestly, it was not rocket science. We just wrote what basically every intelligent person in the world was wrote. But, we provided government with a methodology that helps navigate all the constraints. Processes, again, we are very good at running processes at scale. That's why many people involved in COVID task forces are business people, because we run processes at scale. Government runs processes by rules or by laws. We do run processes on KPIs and outcomes. And then technology, because technology can help a lot to do. And then the last thing is clearly put your people at disposal, involve the people of the organization in solving the problems. People like it, and actually gives a tangible sense that the purpose thing is real and is not just cheap talk for journalists. These are the three things. So engage, provide solutions for navigating the constraints, not try to remove them, because that's a political thing, and give people to your counterparty. Now, if you ask me the real thing that a CEO should do, a CEO should be a rational optimist that bases his or her talk and positions on, I would say, 60% facts and 40% trust in human nature and human beings. We are in a phase where we need to have facts, of course, to make sure the decisions are right, but a little bit of trust and optimism on the fact that people will do it. That's the real role of the CEO. And when he or she talks to a political leader, should really convey the optimism that only business can do. And I mean, I'm here in Italy, whether I talk to the guy who has the restaurant on the lake, or I talk to my friend who I met this morning in the street who has a small, industrial goods companies, they are optimists. They are convinced that they will do it. Now, that's what we need to transfer to the policymakers.
So a combination of engagement, data-driven and process decision-making, but a high levels of kind of the purpose-driven levels of empathy and confidence. Bravery. Confidence in people, because we need that to run companies, and we need that to have long-term visions. And if we can contaminate that into the social and political sphere, again, those constraints, those political dimensions will be seen in a positive way. Otherwise, the risk is that over-regulation, intervention, taxation, and kind of penalizations of certain parts of the society will be the solution, the easy solution. And if that happens, then, it's going to be more taxes, it's going to be more regulation, it's going to be less opportunity to develop. So it's self-serving, but it's also, I think, the correct role of a business leader to be a rational optimist on the future. Vittorio, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.